is this? We can start the meeting now.
We ready? Welcome everyone to the City Council meeting for Monday, May 8th, 2023. If we can have a roll call, Madam Clerk, to establish a quorum.
Melissa Green.
Here.
Steve Holofield.
Here.
Harry Meyer.
Here.
Autumn Slane.
Here.
David Avanzino.
Here.
Terry McClung.
I'm here.
Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Get a motion for approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any corrections or additions or anything? All right, hearing none, all in favor of the agenda as submitted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, get approval for the minutes for April 10th, 23.
I move to approve the minutes for April 10th, 2023.
Second.
Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And get a motion to approve the minutes for April 24th, 2023.
Motion to approve the minutes for April 24th, 2023. Second.
All right. Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
In your packet, you will find a first quarter of 2023 CAPC financial report for your review. Also, we do have 2 vacancies on the CAPC, so if anybody out there in TV land, or if you know of anybody that's qualified for the CAPC, please get in touch with the CAPC. Scott Barden is the new director down there, and he'll be glad to take your application. Under the hospital, we have Barbara Dix has submitted her application to be renewed for the hospital commission. Ms. Green?
I'm going to make a motion to nominate Barbara Dix for position 1 on the hospital commission.
I'll second that.
Any comments? All in favor of renewing Barbara Dix on hospital commission, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And on the Parks Commission, we have 2 vacancies, but I've nominated Jonathan Teagan, who at one time was on the Parks Commission. Ms. Green?
I'll make a motion that we nominate, what was his first name? Jonathan
Yeah.
Teagan for position, what was it, 5 or 3? Which, I don't have it with me. Is it, what position?
Probably position 5.
Okay, position 5.
Second.
All right, any comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I've also submitted to the council Frankie Green to be on HDC vacancy position number 4. So I'll bring him up next time if you want. At this time, we'll bring up the public comments. Please limit your time to 3 minutes. Is that a big 0? All right. Well, moving on to our unfinished business. Get a motion for discussion on the resolution to waive the bidding for the financial and operating system for the hospital.
Move to discuss.
Second.
All right, motion been made and seconded for discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have our chairperson, I think, no, maybe you're not the chairperson, you're the financial. No, chairperson, okay. You wear your hats, so many hats, so, yeah. You want to explain to us what exactly?
First of all, I must apologize for missing 2 weeks ago. I do apologize. I was supposed to be here, and I got tied up in a lull and couldn't make it, but so my sincere apologies for that. The commission, since I got on the hospital commission, we've had problems with our financial systems and our operating systems. I was dead set against making any changes until we got to a situation where we had had full-blown balance sheets, income statements, cash flows. We are now at that position and have been at that position for for almost 2 years. As a matter of fact, we are currently undergoing outside audit of the hospital for the last 2 years. During that time, we have been using a system called MedHost. MedHost was not something that I don't think anybody at our hospital, or certainly anybody on the commission, would have chosen. We inherited MedHost from a company that I'm sure you all recognize, Allegiance. And Allegiance, when they turned it over to us, didn't turn it over to us in very good condition. It is not a very good piece of software anyway. And what finally brought us to the decision that we had to make a change is this is the second year that we're unable to supply all of the information that Medicare wants us to supply to them. Medicare has given us waivers. We have a waiver that we don't have to do that, but we're in a position that we do not want to have to do that again. So we went out searching for a new system. If anybody knows anything about hospital systems, for a while everybody was raving about CPSI. People are not raving so much about CPSI anymore. And we ran into a system that 2 years ago was bought by Oracle. It's a company by the name of Cerner. From the standpoint of software companies, it's local. They're out of Kansas City. Their cloud is all based in Kansas City, and it is a full cloud-based system. Having been part of the Missouri State Auditor's Office, I'm kind of a stickler on bidding. So we tried our best to bid this software. We had 2 companies that we talked to other than Cerner, that once they found out we were looking at Cerner, refused to give us a price. All of the other systems are for much larger hospitals than we're dealing with here. I mean, we're 15 beds here. They're much larger hospitals and literally don't apply. Cerner has found a niche, and I'm sure that's why Oracle bought them 2 years ago, has found a niche in small rural hospitals, particularly critical access hospitals, which fits us to a T. If we install Cerner, we'll be able to handle every one of our applications with the exception of payroll, and I probably wouldn't want payroll to have gone with them anyway. They won't be able to handle payroll, but they'll handle all of our financial applications, all our in-hospital operations, and all of our reporting requirements that we have, both federal and state. We have not been able to find anybody else that compares. That's led me to come to you and ask if we could do this without a bid, because we've scoured the territory. We don't think we'll get any bids, even if we advertised for 6 months. We don't think we'd get any bids other than this, and time is somewhat critical for us. So that's where we're at. Yeah.
I have 2 questions. One is, how will you continue to do the payroll? And then the second one is, well, I'll let you answer that.
Payroll's not an issue because we have a company doing payroll right now. We just won't change it. We'll just stay with the same company.
I see.
Okay? So that's not an issue for us at all. We're using checkout now, and we'll continue to use them.
And my second is the financial stability of the hospital and the affordability of this program at this time.
I'm very pleased to say that since we've been able to have full financials, I wouldn't have told you this the first year I was on the commission, because without full financials, I would contend that you couldn't tell whether we were in good financial condition or not. We are not tearing them up, but we're in the black. And we operate in the black almost every month. February is a bad month for us. We usually don't operate in the black in February, but we make up for it. Our hospital is getting greater and greater usage. The better we perform, the better usage we get. We had 715 people through our emergency room in the first quarter of this year. That has allowed us to operate very well within the framework of what we're doing. We also we had a license, a separate license from the hospital license that had to do with home health care, and we had never used it. We had leased it out to a company for about $125,000 a year. That company was bought, and they came to us and said, we want to buy your license, and they just bought that license for $3.6 million from us.
From the hospital?
From the hospital. So, we actually have a cushion, and hopefully within the next month or so, I'm going to come back and tell you of our plans to effectively build a new hospital. Even though we're building it around the old one, it'll be effectively a new hospital, which we are not intending to fund any from the city or from the county. We're looking for federal and state monies in which to fund that, and we've so far had very optimistic reports back. And that's not a cheap operation, but we're dealing with a 1929 core of our building. If we don't do something 10 years from now, that hospital will not be operating because we won't be able to operate it on a day-to-day basis. Yes, sir.
So the program that you're talking about is fully accredited by Medicare and Medicaid?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am.
The new software, is it compatible with all of your computers in the hospital? Or?
Absolutely. That was the first thing we checked. We don't have to change any of our operating components from any of the electronics that we have throughout the hospital. It's totally compatible, which made it a real
Nice.
from the staff standpoint, and our staff has been working real hard. From the staff standpoint, that was almost a have to. We had to get something that we could integrate that with. Even better is you now know we have the clinic. The clinic is open during the week. Because of MedHost, we had to have a separate system to operate the clinic. The new system will be combined and it'll all be under one. So all of the records from the clinic will be coordinated in with the hospital. Yes.
How is the rollover? Is it going to be two separate systems, or?
The rollover, which is one of the things I was so worried about. I sell real estate here, but that hasn't what I've always been. I've spent my life in corporate America, and I've done about 7 different major conversions in my life, and normally they're a nightmare. Cerner is very serious about this, and obviously Oracle is pushing them. They handle the entire conversion. We don't have to have any staff dedicated to the conversion at all. That's primarily because we no longer will have to have the existence of certain servers that we have in the hospital, because the servers will all be contained in Kansas City. We won't be tied to power outages and things like that having to do with servers. If you remember one of the winter storms we had a power outage, and it blew 2 of our servers because the generator didn't work the way it was supposed to. So the staff has done a really, really excellent job of evaluating this software, and I was a hard sell. I'll be honest with you. I'm probably not the easiest person.
Mr. McClellan?
Yes.
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we do this, as we assign this resolution number and read it for passage.
Second.
All right, Mr. McClellan made a motion to assign resolution number and read it for approval on the screen. Second. Any further discussion?
Yeah. How
Mr.
much
Myers?
is it going to cost?
How much is it going to cost? Okay. This is a good thing for all around. The ongoing cost of Cerner is $50,000. Okay. The current cost of MedHost on a good month, and I'm telling you on a good month because MedHost somehow has a sliding scale, is $58,000. So the ongoing cost will save $8,000 a month. The cost to install is $129,400. $129,400.
All right. Any further questions? All right, we got a motion and a seconded, so we're ready for a vote, voice vote.
Terry McClellan,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Autumn Slane,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
David Avanzino.
Yes.
Signing resolution number 838 to a resolution to waive bidding to purchase financial and operating system. Whereas the City of Eureka Springs Public Hospital Commission deems it appropriate to procure financial and operating system to replace the existing system, which will no longer allow for compliance with the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services reporting requirements. And whereas the financial and operating system will be procured from Cerner Corporation, 2800 Rock Creek Parkway, Kansas City, Missouri, 64117. And whereas the Eureka Springs Hospital Commission has made every effort to locate any additional vendors for the system and have failed to identify any which meet the requirements for a rural critical access hospital, whereas this purchase is budgeted and will be paid for from the operating funds of the hospital and will be at a cost lower than the current system. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, that the City Council does waive bidding and authorizes the allocation of $129,490 for one-time implementation and $50,000 monthly to purchase a financial and operating system.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Turner. By the way, I forgot to introduce Kent Turner, so he's the chairperson of the House bill. So thank you, Kent. All right, that brings us up to our next order of business is get a motion to discuss update on sidewalks along Highway 62.
Motion to discuss?
Second.
No, I saw Public Works there, Mr. Simon.
Yeah, I'm here. Mayor and council, how's everybody doing tonight? So I'm going to try to provide as good of an update regarding the sidewalk situation as I can. I know everybody's kind of frustrated with the traffic lights right there. It was not a city decision to do that. It was a state decision. But they are busy working on building that wall that goes behind the sidewalk to support the new sidewalk. I was out there today and they're placing forms and they have their rebar all tied and they're getting ready to place concrete on that first little section. The state kind of made them slow down a little bit and do the wall in smaller pieces because they were worried about landslides and stuff of that nature. So it's kind of delayed the project a little bit, but I think even with the change orders, we're at about 104 days altogether with change orders, total length of the construction project at this time. So I'll stand for any questions.
104 days from today?
No, from the start of the project.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Ms. Swain,
Is there any way that we could?
you might need to speak into your microphone or pull it up a little bit. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any way that we can divert traffic and still have a two-way there at all, or is it just?
You're talking about diverting traffic through the residential area?
Well, I thought there was a little parking lot right there that
It doesn't go.
it doesn't go that far over.
No, it doesn't go around the Matterhorn and.
So this is going to roll us into June. I'm just concerned with the traffic for the tourism.
They said that last time I talked to them, they expected the wall section to be completed in the backfield by the end of March of this month, May. So I'm still looking forward to that happening. You know, it might be delayed a little bit in the next month, but it should be back to normal traffic by the end of the month.
Okay, so
So
the
you're saying,
stoplight.
excuse me, by the end of this month, hopefully we'll be rid of the,
Yeah, hopefully it'll be pushing it pretty close, but I hope.
I understand. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Myers?
This delay is all due to the fact that when they started, they found stuff they didn't expect, right?
Yeah, there was.
The road was going to collapse or something.
Yeah, so whenever you build a retainer, that retainer is really there for their men's safety, to keep the material, the subgrade and whatever from falling out from underneath the road and collapsing on the guys as they work. But the reality of the situation is due to our topography being so steep, when they built that wall, I don't think they really fully intended on it actually being more or less a retainer wall for the road itself. The first change order was for a drainage structure. Actually, the second change order was for the drainage structure. The first change order was to reduce the amount of work that was under the contract to get it within our scope of price. The second change order was because they found a drainage structure when they excavated to build the wall foundation, and they have to remove that head wall and everything from that drainage structure that was abandoned years ago. That's the add of the 14 days. But there was some utility issues. I just got the all clear from the gas company today. They found a gas line, and it's not really in their scope of work. I'm just like, just don't touch it, you know, we'll be okay. And there are a lot of fiber optic lines that run through and some duct work. They did hit that stuff. Luckily, they didn't damage any of it, but they have to be mindful that it's there.
Yeah. So you figure the completion on this section is by the end of the month, and the whole project in total is 4 days. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's
The original
that's the
contract's
whole
90
sidewalk.
days. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, and then with these changes, have we had an increase in cost?
There was an increase off that change order too, because of that head wall that they didn't know was in there, that years ago RDOT just covered up.
So that will come out of, I guess, street fund?
Yes, I don't remember the exact, was it $2,200?
I believe so.
I think it was about
So
92.
it wasn't huge.
It wasn't $90,000. No. It was more, it was 9,000 something.
Yeah, it wasn't 90,000, it was,
Correct.
No.
yeah, okay.
They started off actually with 14,000 something, and I was like, yeah, that's too much, so they dropped it down.
Okay, that's what I was just curious about that.
Anyone else?
I have another question. What other plans do you have, as this as an example? So other sidewalks, other little projects like that around town?
Yeah, so we've been working with RDOT. We've getting a lot of feedback on wanting the tunnel at the proposed roundabout location. RDOT has submitted just last week, I guess it was, the end of last week, 2 potential locations for a tunnel. And it's kind of important that I get this stuff now because we're working also on our utility relocation design and survey for that to happen. So if they're going to put a tunnel in, I kind of need to know so I can get my stuff away from that. But, you know, I think that's potentially the next big one. I don't know if it's going to be cost appropriate or not. You know, that's your guys' decision to make. But we're working with them on that, and then we're also working with RDOT right now to extend some of it. We got some federal funding, and I'm trying to get them to apply that to extend that sidewalk they're building over there on West Van Buren now.
Good.
What utility movement?
You get it.
What utilities are we moving?
For the
were you
roundabout,
referring
we'll
to?
have to remove our water and sewer.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? In your packet, you do have some photographs, I think, of the actual construction from the field observation that was made in the last month. And there's kind of gives you an idea of what was going on in through there. And the depth of that retaining wall, I don't think anybody quite realized how big that retaining wall was going to end up being.
Yeah, it has a really
And how
large.
close it was to the road, that was a lot of it. And the highway department's the one who shut it down and said, it's got to be a one-lane road. So it wasn't anything to do with the city. It was all RDOT. So, but I think it gives everybody an idea what a stoplight looks like in Eureka Springs. So, all right. Anybody else?
Thank
Stick
you. I
around for the
appreciate
next
it.
issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Simon, stick around for the next item.
I'm here. I'm here and ready. Thank you.
Well, and that brings us up to, for no more discussion on that, get a motion to discuss water and sewer rates.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right. Mr. Myers, we really didn't get into quite exactly what you're looking at. What's your
Well, we've had, 2 raises from Water District so far on us, the last couple of years, and
Yep.
we've kind of absorbed it. And with the water loss that we're having, I thought perhaps that we should go ahead and raise the rates to match that, because we're going to be having another rate increase, and it could get to be where people will start really squawking for a water rate increase, because we're going to wait till it's so late that we have to raise the rate way too much, and we don't want to wind up what we did in the past, loan money to the water department, water sewer.
Mr. McClung?
Yeah, my question is, one, excuse me, what is the total that we've had in increases to date, and are you expecting something in the near future, and what do you expect that to be?
Yes and yes, and I don't know what the exact figure is. We've gone through, Michael, or Simon, do you know the exact numbers?
I don't, but I bet Michael does.
I bet
He
Michael's
knows
got
numbers.
a
Here it
good,
comes.
a good feel for that. We discussed this, and we've held off because of some other issues rather than bringing it to the council at this point, but you're right.
In 2021, we were paying 1.75 per thousand gallons. In 2022, it went up to 1.90 per thousand, and in 2023, it went up to 2.20 per thousand gallons. That's what we're paying for
That's
it.
what we're paying. And are you expecting another increase
Yes.
soon?
Yeah, they've already notified Simon of that.
So, okay.
So probably the first of the year. Did they indicate it would be the first of the year?
So I've been looking at I've been following our financials a little bit more closely with our water and what we lose financially every month. And also I've started looking at Carol Boone's records a little bit more closely to kind of see what they're doing as well. Right now, Carol Boone is losing between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. Going $40,000 or $50,000 a year into the red. So I know that there's a substantial increase that's probably going to happen the first of the year. I don't know what that is. They haven't really talked about it, but it's probably going to be bigger than the previous ones we received.
Okay, then on top of that, the water losses that we're having, where are we in getting those corrected? Because I thought we had that with the new meters and all, we had that pretty much under control. I mean, I'm not talking about the breaks like we had the other day, but I mean just on an average continual basis. You know, we tested all the tanks and, you know, the holding facilities and did all of that. We've replaced the meters, and then we're in the process of upgrading the meters and to make that job easier and more efficient. So where are we with those things?
Okay, so I'm kind of sorry to have to report. I don't really want to talk about the past a whole lot, but I've ran the numbers for the last 3 or 4 years, and our loss has been consistent throughout that entire period.
Still at 40%?
55 to 60. So, anyways, we all know that we have a karst area here, right? Lot of voids, different type of things. So our leaks could happen somewhere, but it'll come out, you know, a mile or two down the road. And we have no clue if it's a spring or if it's a water leak. There's no way for us to know that. I've contacted a leak finder, a leak detector. They have companies that come out to municipalities and do leaks. I've also joined the Arkansas Rural Water Association. They do it for free, and I'm trying to get them to come out here as well. So
will they do your 8-inch or 6-inch?
Yeah.
Your 4-inch, how far will they go down? You know, on that kind of a basis.
System.
6?
It's the entire system.
That's everything that is city-owned.
Yeah.
That's so that'll
All the
pass
way to the
every meter.
Yeah. To every meter.
Yeah, to every meter. So that would be tremendous.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah, we thought that was going to happen, but.
Mr. Meyer?
Of course, our water mains are old. I mean, that one that busted was put in 68?
64, I think.
64, and probably should have been replaced, but we didn't have the money. Are we going to be able to, are we even sticking with the 120% of the cost?
What are you referring to, the 120?
Our income from the water and sewer rates should be 120% of what it costs us to run the water and sewer plant.
Oh, that's an excellent point. No, I don't believe so. We're losing we're losing money at this point.
That's state law, so.
Yeah, so I did print out a thing on Act 605, and I think it's very important that you guys research this. It's really going to affect you. And it'll come into effect in our city July 1st to 26.
Can you get that forwarded to all of us?
Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There's training on it, and the majority of you guys should already receive training on it. If you've been a council member for 10 years or more, you don't have to attend it.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend that you do, so you have a better understanding of what's going to happen. I fully intend on the next year budget to budget for a rate analysis that will comply with Act 605. That way we have plenty of time to get that done and start implementing rate changes, because we only have so long to get the rates up to what the rate analysis determines. As for right now, I'm working with the University of North Carolina. I have a meeting with them tomorrow. They've taken our financials and they're trying to figure out, their kind of rate analysis stuff, but it does not comply with Act 605. There's only half a dozen companies that do water rate analysis in the state of Arkansas that comply with Act 605. But, I'll try to have numbers and budget and everything for that next year.
Watch out, there's somebody behind you.
I want to clarify one thing. What you were talking about on the 120%, that was a requirement of the bond. It's not state law. That was a covenant.
No, it's a,
No, it's a covenant for the bond, and we no longer have that bond, so we don't have that covenant anymore.
oh, okay,
We paid that bond off.
That's one of the bonds we paid off.
right,
So we don't have to,
Thanks, Mike.
like Michael said, that was part of the covenants. So-
good.
So the 605 has a requirement that you have 1/12 of your revenue has to go into a more or less I&I fund, but it's not called I&I. It's specific. It says like replacement and it's like R&R. I don't remember what it says, but it's pretty much capital improvement projects that where 1/12 will have to go into the special fund and it's audited by the state and all that. So, but that'll be all part of that rate analysis that we hire the firm to do in the future.
Mr. Meyer?
If we're going to be able to provide sewer to all those people that have septic tanks in town, that's going to cost a bunch of money. And it appears as though we're going to have to stash some money for that somehow. I mean, we don't want to take money out of the general fund and spend it on water and sewer. We need to have some water and sewer be self-sustaining. So, yeah.
So I've built quite a few lift stations during my career as a public works director. My last one was last year, and the lift station cost $750,000 to give you an idea what the cost is to build one of those. Our lift stations here are pretty antiquated. We're working with an electrician right now to try to upgrade some of the electrical panels and the alarms and that kind of thing on those. We don't know if there's a failure until somebody goes down there and sees it, blowing sewage all over the place. So we're trying to get that all under control, and I've been working with the mayor quite a bit on it and have a lot of support. And good.
Anybody else?
Just one more thing. There was a tree that fell on a residential sewer line that was above ground, and that sewer leak is down in that valley that nobody goes down.
Yeah.
We've got an ordinance that says sewer lines have to be buried, and if that sewer line, that residential sewer line had been buried, the tree wouldn't have broken it. So.
Right, and I can't really speak a lot to the residential side of things. I kind of try to stay in my own lane and worry about my mains. So that would fall under the building inspector.
Yeah.
And I know that Jacob has been, there was a house they built just down here off Main Street up on the hill, and they ran their sewer line. It looked like it was above ground, and they ended up having to build a rock facade to protect it. So I know he's on top of that.
Okay.
Any other comments?
When can we expect the next update?
Possibly as soon as next council meeting. I have a meeting tomorrow with the University of North Carolina. I'm hoping they have some numbers for me. And as soon as I have numbers, I'll forward them on to you guys.
What could we do to help trying to get I'm sorry, I don't recall who you said that would come out and do it for free? The rural water.
Yeah, so...
Is there anything we can do to encourage them?
So, yeah, so everybody in the state's trying to use the Rural Water Association for their free services, right? I think I know where one leak is. I got a feeling that we have one on Main Street that's running down on the main. I have no idea where it's at. We've looked. Can't find it. I really want to find that leak, and I might just hire a company to come in and do that real quick. There's a leak detection company down in Alma, and I might have to pay a few thousand to have them come in to do it. But when we're losing as much water as we are, it might be an upfront cost, but it could potentially save us a lot of money really fast. So.
Anyone else?
Thanks.
Thank you.
You
It's a
know, there are
pleasure standing before you guys. I haven't done it yet, and I know I've talked to quite a few of you, Melissa and David, of course, and Steve. I think I spoke with you on the phone before, and if you guys need anything, call my office. I'm always there just about, so here to help. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. All right, the next item on agenda is a new business. Item number 3 is a cleanup budget. Mr. Aiken, Mr. Michael,
Motion to discuss.
get a second?
Second.
Okay, what you have before you, one of the things that we do at the end of the year is what we call a cleanup budget. This is basically how we ended the year. So the attachment, you have a resolution about the budget, and then the attachment is our revenues and expenditures, and that was our actual revenue and expenditures for the year. And this is just a resolution acknowledging, letting y'all know, letting everybody know where we actually ended up versus where we predicted that we would end up. And so if you kind of go to the last page of the revenue and expenditure report, you can see that our 2022 amended budget, we had 13.772 in income and 12.997 in expenditures. We actually had 13.799 in revenue and 12.664 in expenditures. So our revenue came in about 26,000 more than we predicted, and our expenditures were 332,000 less than what we predicted. Now, we were pretty spot on that. The majority of that is going to be capital expenditures, of where we had allotted money for like the ambulance and some of those things that didn't come due in 2022 that will roll over to 2023.
I'd like to make a motion that we assign this resolution a number and read it for passage.
I'll second.
And Mr. McClung made the motion to assign a number and read for passage, and Mr. Myers seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
Autumn Slane,
Yes.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
Signing resolution number 839, a resolution amending the 2022 adopted budgets for the city of Eureka Springs, Arkansas for the year 2022, appropriating money for each and every item of expenditure therein and for other purposes. Whereas the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas has determined that it is in the best interest of the city to amend the adopted budgets of the city, and whereas certain anticipated revenues and expenditures did not occur as previously budgeted, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs that this resolution shall be known as a cleanup amended budget resolution for the City of Eureka Springs for the year 2022, and the attached 2022 budget documents present the actual revenues, expenditures, and appropriation adjustments for the period. That the amounts for each expenditure classification in the amended budget are hereby approved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and they are hereby authorized and appropriated for purposes set forth for the calendar year ending December 31st, 2022. Revenues for 2022, general fund account, 2022 amended budget is $5,110,953. with a $459,873 increase, with a balance as of December 31st, 2022 of $5,570,826. Street fund, $1,259,641, $369,605 decrease, $890,036. Lot fee, $385,356, $351 increase, $385,707. Capital fund, $556,505, $187,712 decrease, $268,793. Debt service, $1,866,600, $102,692 increase, $1,969,292. Capital project fund, $1,134,186, $130,215 decrease, $1,003,971. Court automation, $16,100, a $5,454 decrease, $10,646. Fireman's pension, $130,150, $24,419 decrease, $88,731. Water and sewer fund, $1,702,257,418 increase, $1,959,418. Transit fund, $1,728,310, $76,619 decrease, $1,651,691. With a total of $13,772,801, with a $26,310 increase, $13,799,111. Appropriations for 2022.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Oh, yeah.
It's okay. General fund account, $5,139,998 with an $87,474 increase, $5,227,472. Street fund, $1,056,520 with a $135,728 decrease, $920,792. Lot fee, $384,556, $5,167 decrease, $379,389. Capital fund, $364,505 with a $103,812 decrease, $260,693. Debt service, $1,562,114, the $49,444 increase, $1,611,558. Capital project fund, $1,134,186 with a $130,215 decrease, $1,003,971. Court automation, $16,100 with a $3,926 decrease, $12,174. $99,360 for fireman's pension, $4,695 increase, $104,055. Water and sewer fund, $2,111,766 with a $999,802 decrease, $1,811,964. Transit fund, $1,128,320 with a $204,450 increase, $1,332,770. Total $12,997,425 with a $332,587 decrease, $12,664,838.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us up to our last item of business, number 4, resolution to trade vehicles from parks to the building inspector. Get a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
This is just a kind of an internal swap among the cities. We had the truck that the building inspector had been using, and the parks had another vehicle that they were using, but they would rather had the truck. So what we're doing is swapping out. Parks said they'll take the truck and give us the car. Building inspector's happy, Parks Department's happy, so this is kind of an internal swap that we've got to do for the auditors.
Make a
Well,
motion.
then let's make this, give it a number and pass it.
Second.
All right, Ms. Green made a motion to give it a number, sign number for passage, and Mr. McClung seconded.
Is this open for discussion?
Sure.
Yeah. I just was wondering, didn't Bobby Ray have a car with the police department?
This was a truck,
Okay.
and it wasn't the police department, it was a city vehicle, but it was
Gotcha.
parked at the
Okay.
police station.
He doesn't need a code enforcement truck or a marked car, or what is it?
We can get it marked, but he doesn't need the truck.
I got you.
So,
Are we doing background checks and driving records?
Beg your
Or
pardon?
Are we doing background checks and driving records?
for the building inspector?
this and-
We did that when we hired him.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it had to come before the board.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But that happens when we hire him, or?
This has got to do with the
Understood.
vehicles, so you're off on
I
another
just want to
subject.
make sure that we're doing the proper things to
We're
ensure
done.
that our insurance is safe and everything else.
Everything's fine with the insurance and everything,
Okay.
according to our city attorney.
Steve has it.
All right, Steve.
So the building inspector doesn't need a truck? I thought he'd have to have,
And now he's comfortable with the car.
I thought he had to have ladders and all that kind of stuff. No? Okay.
He said he's not going to be using ladders. That's up to the contractor.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Any other discussion? All right, got a motion and a second, so voice vote? I mean,
Dave-
not voice vote, but yeah.
Gotcha. David Avanzino,
Yes.
Melissa Green,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
Yeah,
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Autumn Slane,
Yes.
Steve Holofield.
Yes.
Signing resolution number 840, a resolution to authorize trading of vehicle between parks and building departments. Whereas the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, having been informed of the needs of the City Parks Department with regards to a truck to use for daily operations, and whereas the City Council has estimated that it is economically feasible to trade the building department's current vehicle to the Parks Department, whereas the City Council has determined that the City Building Department currently owns a 2001 Ford F-150 with VIN number in good working order. The City Parks Department owns a 2011 Ford Expedition, which the city believes to also be in good working order. And whereas it is believed that the approximate value of the two vehicles is similar, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, that the city is hereby authorized to make a straight trade of vehicles between the Building Department and the City Parks Department with no additional compensation.
All right, that brings us up to agenda setting. Anything at this point from any council members? All right, hearing none, city council comments. Mr. Alvanzino, we'll start on your end this week.
Great outrageous parade. It was fantastic. I loved seeing everyone out. The costumes were fantastic. And I know Steve will talk about the CAPC stuff, so I'll leave that to him. But yeah, it was a great weekend.
Mr. Holyfield?
I didn't attend, but I heard the Melissa Etheridge concert was a huge success. A lot of people attended it, and it sounded very exciting. I will talk about CAPC. We'll have our next workshop this Wednesday at 5 o'clock here. And as the mayor mentioned, we have 2 vacancies on the commission right now. So.
Ms. Green?
Just ditto what David said. The outrageous parade was really a lot of fun. It was nice to see people out, and kudos to Scott and the promoter. The concert was, I heard, a sellout, and happy people.
Ms. Swain?
I just want to thank everybody that's serving on all of our commissions. Right now, we are nearly full, and that's super exciting and nice to see. Thank you.
Mr. Myers?
oh, we had great weather. The parade was lots of fun, and, yeah, I'm happy.
Mr. McClung?
Just that, the CAPC, those 2 vacant spots are very important, so, it's an opportunity to serve your community and be a part of it. It's very important, so step up the plate, please.
Thank you. And I have to reinforce what Mr. McClung said. Not only the CAPC's important positions we have, so please put your application in, but we also have vacancy on the Parks and the Historic District Commission too. So please, if you're at all interested, please submit your application in there, because I know commissions can use you very much. Also, going along with what we're talking about, the parade, the outrageous parade was another outrageous parade. It was very good. A lot of great floats and people down there. Melissa Etheridge was almost a sellout, the auditorium. It's one of the first time in a long time we've had that close to a sellout. So a lot of, she was just an incredible musician. I had no idea how great she was. And, you know, and going on into May, we've still got a lot more going on the next couple of weeks. May 11th through the 13th out at the farm campground, we've got the Spaceberry Festival. And then on the 12th, in Music in the Park, we have Tim Hillwood. On the 12th, down here in the basement of the auditorium, we've got the Public Art Reveal. Also on the 12th through the 14th, we have the Bridge of Love Mother's Day Tribute down at the Main Street Pedestrian Bridge. And then also during the 13th through the 20th, around the Basin Park, we'll have the pop-up Shakespeare. So come on and enjoy some surprise performances of the Lover's Scene from Midnight Summer's Dream. And then the Drumming in the Park will be May 13th. Gallery Stroll, May 13th and 20th from 5 to 8, from Spring down to Main Street Galleries. And Music in the Park, May 19th by Jesse Dean. And then one of our all-time favorite is the 31st Annual White Street Walk, May 19th from 4 to 10. So we got a lot of fun activities going on. Get out and enjoy, meet your neighbors, and have a good time. So I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved.